Well, let's get to our next guest. And there's a lot happening across our markets, particularly in that bond market at the moment. Peter McGuire from XM joining us here on the program. Pete, great to go and see you there. Brainard has certainly gone and the cat amongst the pigeons overnight. The movements in the bond market have filtered across everywhere today.
Absolutely, David. I tell you what, it's been exciting when you're looking at those comments coming from, well, Deputy Chair, and it's simple. That's where I think the next path is going to be for Brainard. Where you're looking, Dow off, S&P off, Nasdaq off, they all came under a fair bit of pressure. It's taken a fair bit of the steam out of the Asia-Pacific region today. And the momentum, 50-point basis, big chance of it happening in May. So, yeah, the consensus out there is one of, at the moment, looking at just seeing where it all rolls. I think it's going to be a fascinating couple of days with comments coming out tonight as far as those minute releases.
Yeah, that'll be really key, particularly for the currency markets. I want to get your view on the Aussie dollar because it was absolutely flying this time yesterday. We saw the RBA not deliver a hawkish statement, but certainly moving towards what it seems to be a rate hike. Aussie dollar was above 76 cents for a period of time. Would you be a willing buyer right now?
Well, 76.35 I think it tapped out at, and we're at about 75.70 at the moment, David, so it's given back a fair bit of that steam. Yeah, possibly. I wouldn't be surprised to take 73 to 77, I think, is the handle. Between, it's going to whipsaw between those. You've got that US dollar index just sitting under 100. I think it's around 99.7 at the moment, so it's fairly strongly bid up. And that Aussie will come under, I think, a little bit of boost to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised. It's going to be whipsawing, and that's what traders want. And it's been an incredible 24 hours for it.
What else is catching your eye at the moment in the currency markets?
Japanese yen sitting at, I'm just surprised, nearly at 124, David. And then you've got the euro. Now we've broken that 109 handle. So, yes, further softness for the euro. The issues there are, I think, significant. You're talking possibility as far as a summer recession. So there's the first point. Japanese yen, I think there's, 125 is a big possibility of taking it out, probably before Easter. So that continued softness for the yen. What else? Maybe the British pound. I think that's lost some of its luster as well at a 130.72. Probably 129 is a handle to look at for the pound.
Peter, crude has been giving back a lot of ground from where it was just about a month or so ago following the initial stages of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. How's it looking technically at this point? Because it still has a big move upwards, but it's obviously given back a lot of that ground.
Well, the first point is, David, what time horizon are you using your technicals across? Because it's just so volatile. I listened to something Ed Morse said the other day from Citigroup, and he said you won't be surprised to see moves of 10 to 15% per session. So what we've got is now a 107 for Brent and 102 for WTI, just under. So they've had very, very strong moves to the upside. You're thinking about what's going on with Russia, the concerns from the EU's component and gas and oil. So I don't think they're going to leave them in the lurch too much, but there's certainly at the moment, it's a wild market to trade and so much opportunity for traders, $3 and $4 and $5 moves over a 24-hour period, David. So that's, from a technical standpoint, I'd say it's probably got a little bit further upside, and then you might see it sold off again.
So volatile day to day. So difficult to go and make too much of a call longer term in that one. So we'll leave that for another day. I want to get your view on what's going on in the Nasdaq. The US tech stocks face ripping rally from the lows we saw in March, but coming under a little bit of renewed pressure. What's caught your interest in that space?
Well, that sell-off last night was probably giving back a little bit of that hot steam. So that sometimes markets get exhausted to the upside, and I think that they're probably at a point of consolidation over the next week or so leading up to Easter. No doubt, we're very mindful of that. First off was end of quarter last week. We're moving into Easter. Traditionally, you'll see, I think, a slowdown as far as activity. So where the Nasdaq, you might see a move to the upside possibly tomorrow night, and waiting to see what Brainard and the Fed minutes say. And that will give us a better picture as far as what's expected for May and bond rates, which in turn is going to greatly impact, I think, the Nasdaq and the equity markets.
We know that the financial markets have got 250 basis point hikes from the Fed pricing back to back over the next two meetings. Not a lot is known when it comes to quantitative tightening. Is that going to be the potential to go and create a volatility event tonight in those minutes?
I would think so. I mean, that's, if you're putting back-to-backs like that, that's really going to change, I think, the footprint from the investor standpoint. And naturally, the volatility, I'd be interested to see what the VIX does, and then just the vol across currencies, what's going on with the energy sector and the whole. I mean, the markets really, David, what we experienced in the first quarter were electric, and I don't think this quarter is going to disappoint either. So, yeah, we got rate rises starting to run up. We've also how they're going to trim back that $9 trillion balance sheet. So there's going to be a lot of news and a lot of excitement, I think, over the next matter of days leading up into the next meeting. I think it's 3rd and 4th of May. So, yeah, quite exciting over the month of April.